Man, I do love Super Mario. It's so fun and interactive too. Although I do wonder how they fit him in here. He must be so small. That's a good point, Mr. Monkey. I do love 3D platform games. I wish I were 3D, like some of my favourite gaming icons, like Mario, Sonic, Banjo and Kazooie, but I do feel like I'm missing someone. Of course, Rayman. Wow, this takes me back. You know what, Monkey?
Yeah.
Let's revisit Rayman and see what he has to offer. Rayman, the gaming mascot of the French video game publisher Gameloft, who worked with the well-known company Ubisoft, back then known as Ubisoft Entertainment. I don't know. Our limbless friend was originally birthed from the great mind of Michel Ancel in 1995, when Rayman, appropriately named, for the Atari Jaguar was released to the world, and then swiftly ported over to the PlayStation on September the 9th of that same year, when they realised that PlayStation 1 was selling just a little bit more. Rayman 1 was highly acclaimed for its dazzling bright colours and visuals, awesome soundtrack, and even earned several awards because of these traits, pushing Rayman to be a competitor of the likes of Sonic and even this mustache man himself. Thanks to this success, Michel Ancel began work on Rayman 2 immediately, a new side-scrolling Rayman game designed to expand on these concepts, abilities, art style and charm. But then, a strange man far away started tinkering with the third dimension, Mr. Miyamoto himself. And in 1996, merely 1 year after Rayman 1 was released, our favourite Italian plumber made his way into the three-dimensional plane. Michel noticed Mario 64 and went, yeah, sounds good, and put the original plan for Rayman 2 to the wayside, and began working on a new project. After hard work and dedication, a new 3D game entered the market. You guessed it, Tonic Trouble. I bet you feel like a fool now. Yes, Tonic Trouble was Ubisoft's first ever 3D platform game. This game was created to help get Ubisoft comfortable with working in a 3D space, and help make headway towards the official Rayman 2. Once Ubisoft knew what they were working with, Rayman 2 began to grow and take shape. Rayman 2 was officially released on the 29th of October in 1999 for the Nintendo 64, Windows, Sega Dreamcast and the PlayStation. It was also released for a couple of... Oh my god! So, without further ado, let's take a look into Rayman 2: The Great Escape, the predecessor of the vibrant platformer that it follows. Oh, I remember this from the first game. The slaves! Yep. The slaves. It's going to be one of those videos. So, Rayman 2 took a little bit of a darker tone. The game starts off with a scene of two robot pirates, the main antagonist of the game being robot pirates, by the way, dragging a blue character through what seems to be a prison riddled with my childhood nightmares. Our new blue friend is gently tossed into a nearby cell with the one and only Rayman, and here our adventure begins. This already sets the tone for what this game has to offer. No more of this. Oh yeah, oh, am I gonna make it? Whee! We have been brought into the essence of mortality, with a fragile Rayman looking like his parents have told him off for feeding the dog his vegetables under the table. However, the sheer amount of emotion and expression that Ubisoft are able to show here is amazing when Rayman looks up and sees his friend. This is incredible for what the hardware was capable of, especially compared to this. Here we meet our first new character introduced into the game, Glowbox, a blue frog man thing who is apparently here to save him. Rayman tells Glowbox that his powers are weak and there is nowhere for them to escape, but Glowbox explains that Lee the Fairy has sent him here to give Rayman his powers back and proceeds to literally pull a lum out of his stomach with his bare hands and gives it to Rayman to restore his powers. And now you escape. Smash a hole in the wall and out we go. We've done it! We've achieved the great escape! Good job everyone, that's a wrap. But seriously, all jokes aside, what an introduction. Games those days weren't exactly profound for their storytelling ability and emotional relatability. But man, this start really leaves you with enough questions that keep you playing and wanting to know more. And the whole game is riddled with this atmosphere, although much eerier than the last game, but it works so well in this environment. But we'll get more into that later. After Rayman and Glowbox get separated from their fall, Rayman explores the Fairy Glade to find his big blue amphibian friend. He comes across his kids, who, till this day, annoy the living out of me. Rayman explains that Glowbox is lost and he must continue his search for Lee the Fairy for help. When you get to the end of this level, you meet the Teensies. Now these odd fellows guide you to the world map, known as the Hall of Doors, and here is where the progression begins. The main plot isn't thrown right at you either. You go through multiple levels and even fight a few bosses before you get to understand the main aim of the game. After being introduced to the pirates, Rayman doesn't seem to have a feasible way of destroying them until after said first encounter, where he finds a mask and is sent to meet with Pelocus, the spirit of the world. Pelocus needs all 4 masks to awaken and asks Rayman to search for them, in return destroying the pirates. And so, Rayman embarks on an adventure of a lifetime to rid the pirates of their unforgiving slavery and darkness. Yes, that's right, slavery and darkness they brought to the world. Oh boy, the level design is just so... perfect. Each level is clearly themed behind a concept, and that concept is then expanded upon throughout each level to help create a difficulty curve. Throughout each level are plenty of collectibles. Firstly, the lums. These are your coin equivalents, and as explained at the start, there are 1,000 scattered across the world for you to collect. I love collecting these lums in particular because they've not been swimming around in Glowbox's digestive system. So, if you're gonna go for a 100% run, you'll want to hunt for all of these. There are multiple different types of lums too, some not collectible but more of like a help within a level. Yellow are your standard collectible lums that you have to get all 1,000 of. Red, dropping from pirates and sometimes in the middle of nowhere, restore your health. Green, giving you a checkpoint in a map. Purple, letting you swing across them for some extra ways to traverse areas. And blue, which I forgot about in the script until I played through, which help you breathe underwater. For a bit of extra challenge, cages are dotted around, and sometimes very well hidden for the player to find and break. Most of these contain lums too, so if you want all the lums, you'll need all the cages too. These give an extra layer of challenge for those who wish to pursue it. They can be found either just spotting them or listening to a faint sound cue that sounds like this. Another prisoner / slave pleading for their life. The final cage in each level must be broken in order to save a Teensy trapped inside, who summons a portal back to the Hall of Doors by making Rayman dance. Now, more into the level design. I wish I could list every level in this video and explain its significance, but I have wallowing in self-pity booked in after this, so I'll just stick to a few. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. The Marshlands. In the Marshlands, Rayman continues his search for Glowbox. You have this tense music, creepy sound effects, piranhas and toxic swamp goop. You meet a snake called Sam, who lets you use his scarf to water ski across the sludge to guide you towards Glowbox. Dodging robot pirates, zombie chickens. Yep, that's a zombie chicken. That's what it's called. That's what they called it. Whoa, what a ride! The wind in my hair, the water in my face. What an experience. Sanctuaries. There are multiple of these levels dotted around the world map, and this is where the boss fights take place, and some of the masks are even located, each sanctuary posing a different theme: water and ice, stone and fire, rock and lava. Water and ice has you solving puzzles to open a door, which then takes you to a huge slide segment, where you meet Axel, the guardian of the sanctuary, where you have to swing on purple lums and you don't know if you're going to make it. Ooh, am I going to make it? Ooh, what am I wrong? Ooh. Or perhaps the sanctuary of rock and lava, where you must traverse tricky platforms and surf lums on lava to help guide yourself through the terrain. You get to the end of the sanctuary and you're like, where's my mask? The level's just ended. But suddenly, you go back to the world map and you see this, beneath the sanctuary of rock and lava. I was so particularly scared of this segment as a kid. You must fly through a large chasm of prickly vine tentacle things, and they are really creepy, and I genuinely left it for a good few months before I built up the courage to finish it. Another area that freaked me out as a child was my first encounter with this machine, and the flying bombs. I would get to this part of the game, and just quit in fear, and 2 weeks later do the exact same thing, and then another 2 weeks later do the exact same thing. One of my personal favourites, the precipice. You begin at the top of what seems to be a huge mountain range and slowly jump and hover your way down on rickety platforms beneath your feet, all while being bombarded with cannonballs from a pirate galleon which is trying to attack you. This level truly creates a sense of scale for this world as the level keeps going and going and going into the darkness of a chasm. Now, this is off topic, but as a little tip, if you do want to play this game, I do not recommend the PlayStation 1 version as many levels are actually missing, and most of the levels included are actually reduced in size. Now, when I was discussing the creepy atmosphere of this game and how I was scared as a child, mostly it was due to the music. The scores in this game match the levels and situations so well, it made me scared of a stationary machine for God's sake. Granted, I was scared of a Goomba in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and that says a lot about me, doesn't it? I mean, just listen to some of these scores. In the Marshes of Awakening, you're met with a slow, quiet bongo beat and taps from wooden sticks, creating a creepy energy for the player. Then all of a sudden, you're hit with a boom 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 boom. Just like the piranhas would randomly jump out at you when you least expect it. As if you're not already on edge, this game makes you aware of the dangers just within a few notes. The theme in the Hall of Doors, expressing the mystery behind each pathway to a new location. One of my personal favourites is Entering the Pirate Ship. This is a mix of ominous music we've seen already, but combined with Mission Impossible / James Bond-esque jazzy music to help send a message that the player is sneaking in undetected, I guess? Just listen to this. And then, the fight music. Oh my god, the fight music. It really expresses the mechanical side of the robot pirates. I mean, I can't explain it enough. You just have to listen. Just prepare your ears. Yep. But wait, there's more.
I'm recording.
Nicely.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now, the characters in this game don't really follow a distinct theming, but I suppose that's what gives each and every one of them their charm. Not you! Glowbox is the traditional clumsy co-host of the game, and isn't as loved as the main protagonist. You could say he's the Luigi of the Rayman series of games. He has a slow, scaredy-cat personality as shown in the Canopy level, in which Glowbox runs from literally every fight, showing his nervous persona. He can also do this for some reason. This thing, known as the Rain Dance apparently, helps you progress by destroying electronics and growing plants in certain levels. Also, Glowbox has a wife called Uglette. Ouch. And oh my god, they have over 650 children. I don't know what Glowbox is doing, but he must be doing it well. Oh please stop it, oh please, please, oh. On top of this, I wanted to point out that I didn't know, until researching this for the video, that the kids have names. Look at some of these. Brainox. Bimbet. I'm not even going to go there. Globs. All my life, I have wanted a son. You have never failed to make me proud. You have never failed to bring me happiness and joy. I love you, my son. Globs. Oh no, send it back! We also have the Teensies. These guys get you into the Hall of Doors, as explained before, and damn, these guys are adorable. When you first encounter them, they argue over who is the king of the Teensies, and Rayman gets all pissed off and he's like, stop it! And then they just throw this one guy under the rug, and I really feel for this dude. Then you come back after you've completed some levels, and they have now a coordinated system, where they all take turns to be king. Now that is some coordination. Polocus, I'm going to say Polocus, is another entry into the line of good characters. Polocus is the spirit of the world and is needed to destroy the pirates. His demeanour is mysterious and he can only be spoken to through dreams. I also like his long arms. Lee the Fairy helps you get through the story by giving you abilities. She isn't the most interesting character but is still integral to the story. The main villain of the game is Captain Razorbeard, who in my opinion has an amazing personality for a villain. Although he doesn't show up that much in the actual cutscenes, when he does it is gold. He simply does not care, and it shows when he straight up eats a lum and reduces the lum counter from 1,000 to 999. Now you thought Undertale broke the fourth wall, this is where it starts. And I just want to point out that this is so heavily brushed over in the story. Without the final lum, the heart of the world is unable to be repaired. I think that might be kind of a big deal, but hey, you know, what do I know? Maybe we have to wait for him to just shit it out. Now, some of you may be thinking, Matt, you've missed a character. But oh, how you are wrong. The best part of this whole game is Clark! Clark brings this whole game together like an absolute madman and is one of the most integral pieces of this game. Clark gave me the most enjoyment of this game due to the sheer amount of emotion he has caused me, both positively and negatively. Where do I begin? Clark's design, golden. Clark's character, golden. Clark's chin, golden. But most importantly, he connects this world together. When you first bump into Clark, you see him sat in a room. He's killed like 1,000,000 pirates with his bare hands, and he's slumped in the corner of a room. He tells Rayman he swallowed something that's toxic, and if he doesn't get the antidote soon, he will die. He tells you to go to the marshes and search for the Cave of Bad Dreams, and you have to remember the name. Suddenly, the world is interconnected, and Clark has you back going to dun 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 to find a cure. If you go up a different path, you meet Jano, I'm going to go with Jano, who guides you into the Cave of Bad Dreams. If you try and go there early, you're actually met with a creepy interaction where he says you must leave if you don't know the name, and Rayman just leaves. Now, the Cave of Bad Dreams. This level is, in my opinion, the best level in the whole game. You have a gauntlet of platforming challenges, puzzles, and fights, all with this ominous music playing in the background. And man, this struck me my first time playing. The creepy assets and the music make it a real adventure to behold. When you complete the majority of the level, you end up entering a room where Geno jumps out at you and chases you because damn you looking like a snack, Rayman. Oof! You are now in a chase, and the camera is located inside Geno's mouth. All the times I've stopped playing as a kid, this one stopped me the most. The sheer genius of this section is amazing. After you escape the slide, the final battle commences. You and Jano fight. Platforms are thrown at you, and you must stop them to guide Rayman closer and closer to this one-eyed freak until you complete the final stage. Rayman enters the final room to see gold! And lots of it. Jano asks him to make a decision here. Take the gold as a reward or not. Now, you literally can choose to take the gold, which I non-ironically did as a kid, completely forgetting about Clark and the whole pirate invasion. If you choose to take the gold, then the game actually ends. And you see Rayman on an island, really heckin' chomped, surrounded by... I always thought this was such a funny touch, and even though it is completely random, I am so happy it's in the game. Anyway, if you choose not to take the gold, Jano gives you the elixir of life, and you return to Clark to nurse him back to health. You proceed to follow him out of the pirate base, smashing through walls and the like, and then finish the level, saving Clark. But oh, how foolish I was. Imagine this, you complete the level, Clark is saved, and you continue to go through stage after stage until... the Tomb of the Ancients. Now, if you thought the Cave of Bad Dreams was spooky, listen to this soundtrack. This level is a real test of everything you have learned up until this moment. It steps up in difficulty and places some interesting puzzles and platform problems to the player, while simultaneously giving them the heebie-jeebies. You must hit 3 switches around the level to open a pathway to the next section. After this, you must face an ominous slide of goop, toxic sludge stuff, and fight multiple robot pirates along the way. After this, a reckless barrel section hits you, in which you must light a gunpowder barrel on fire and fly through a tricky obstacle course. Damn, I was also terrible at this, by the way. Then you're met with more sludge, more pirates, more damn zombie chickens, ugh! And finally, you've completed the final challenge. You enter an arena. But what do you find in this arena? Or should I say who? Clark, slumped in the corner, breathing heavy. He sees Rayman and jumps for joy, for it to be ripped away from him faster than you can even process what's going on. His eyes spiral out of control, and lo and behold, he is brainwashed. The robot pirates have taken over his body, and now it is one of the most intense fights of the game, and the creepiest too. Clark will charge at you and attempt to grab you, and you must trip him over with 3 buttons, activating a laser. Once he has fallen, you can attempt to destroy the box on his back and set him free, his lifeless eyes mercilessly searching for you. Then, after he is free, the same Clark charm returns, and oh how sweet it is! The objectively best character in all of gaming has returned to grace you with his chin, and the game is over. I mean, there is some stuff about Razorbeard and a massive boss fight, but you know what? I'm going to leave that out for people who wish to play the game, but I can tell you, it is one of the best final levels I have ever played. So, to conclude, Rayman 2 The Great Escape. It is great. I am sure that a lot of this is from nostalgia, but I really recommend it if you have not already given this game a go. There is so much more I wanted to talk about that will double the length of this video, and I think that if you are a viewer who wants to play this game for yourself, some parts should be left unseen for you to experience. Rayman will always hold a special place in my heart, and I still have a great time with his more modern titles too. My fingers are crossed for us to dive back into the Glade at some point and see this atmosphere again, but I'd still be okay holding the mystery of Rayman 2 in my memories regardless. And to close off, nothing matters. But if there is one thing that matters, it's Clock! So I just want to thank everybody for watching. I'm very bored during the virus that should not be named. And I wanted to do something that, you know, I'm really passionate about, really wanted to talk about. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I've got a couple more ideas on the way. So yeah, all the best. Nothing matters, and if there's one thing that does matter, it's you. But it's also Clock. Clock's the best. Oh yes, Clock!